can sing. Are you listening? Altar set, candles glisten. It's a magical night we're having tonight, dancing in a weekend wonderland. Blades held high, censer smoking. God and goddess we're invoking. Through elements five we celebrate life, dancing in a weekend wonderland. In a circle we can light a youth fire and await the rising of the sun. It's the great world turning for the new year, loaded with abundance and great fun. Queen of heaven is in her place.
Hey YouTube, and welcome back to another 33 Days of Holidays video. And today, what are 3 things that happen to a witch when they're out in public and you tell somebody you're a witch? Either A, they're gonna be like, oh, that's freaking cool. B, you're gonna get a weird look, or a dirty look, or 3, that person's going to ostracize you in front of who knows how many people, or for D, a combination of B and C. So, today we are going to be talking about schizophrenia, bipolar conscious, and other shamanic traits. And shamanic traits could easily translate to witchy abilities like clairvoyancy, fortune telling, or stuff like that. And the reason I'm talking about this today is because within the witchy community we deal with a lot of people guessing or second guessing our sanity because we do stuff like this, and I thought it would be a great start to a discussion to break that stigma, especially when mental illness comes into play. So schizophrenia is characterized as hearing things or seeing things, which, if you think about it, can easily translate to seeing spirits or being clairvoyant and hearing things tell you bits and pieces of information. And then bipolar disorder is where you can go from one polar opposite to another, or like happy to sad, or sad to angry really fast. And the reason this happens is because what the shamans believe is that before we are born, we choose what we want to do in this world. So like, we're going on vacation and we pick out our itinerary that we want to do. So then when we are born with this veil of forgetfulness, which helps us to stay focused on our itinerary, and through either some traumatic experience, or it may not even be traumatic at all. If you do things like cannabis, like I have, then that veil of forgetfulness can be torn or punctured, because it's like this membrane, so it's susceptible to things coming into it. And once that membrane is punctured, then the person who's experiencing their itinerary is then suddenly experiencing everyone else's, or they feel everybody else. Um, and through experiencing everyone else, if they aren't taught or handled properly, then this can cause a mental illness, which, magically speaking, I could relate to the Obscurus or the Obscurial in the new Fantastic Beasts movie, because since magic is so highly a taboo subject, people don't uh, take it or handle it as well. So what usually happens when some kid says, oh, well, I'm seeing things, I'm hearing things that shouldn't be there, the first thing they're going to do is go to a doctor. And doctors usually don't believe in magic or clairvoyancy or ESP or any of that kind of stuff. So what are they going to do? They're going to put you on medication. Now, medication is both good and bad, because if the medication is working, then it is going to work at that present moment. But what we see happen with many of the patients taking medicine is that they'll usually have to go up a dose, or they'll have to change the whole routine, because then all of those symptoms start to come back in some form. So, what I think needs to happen, because if a very large portion of the population is either depressed or has had bouts of depression at some point in their lives, which means that everyone is capable of everything under the psychokinetic umbrella, which is, if it's from intuition or to something like telekinesis, um, then I think we need to really educate ourselves on the things we don't necessarily know everything about, especially the human mind. Um, because if we are suppressing these abilities, then yeah, that is going to leave us open to types of mental illness. And who likes mental illness? Um, but what I would say, that the difference between somebody who is mentally ill and somebody who is crazy is that they're both the same. It's just one person can't handle it as well as the other person. Now, for me, I I totally pull the whole Winona Ryder and Stranger Things thing. Like, I know I'm crazy. Like, who would want to believe all this kinds of stuff in a society that would be quick to label you as fucking crazy? Um, I know I'm crazy. And I think that's the difference between somebody who is okay, mentally ill, and crazy. And if you're on the crazier side, then I believe that you just have so much inside you. You've been suppressed so much, and you're not getting the proper treatment or the proper care or the proper education that you just fall so deep into yourself that you become crazy. And I think people can be born crazy because I feel like it was on my itinerary to do cannabis and have my membrane poked and prodded, and ultimately I think it's just disappeared. Like I have no veil of forgetfulness because I feel everything. Um, and then the people in the middle who are mentally ill probably aren't and are in that process of being suppressed. Um, Now for people who have like bipolar disorder, oh yeah, that was all the stuff on like seeing things and the correlation between schizophrenia and witchy traits. People who have bipolar conscious usually in the shamanic world go by the term of burdock and are usually the holier people of their village, um, because their consciousness expands into both polarity spectrums, um, which means that all the physical and mental facilities and predispositions that accompany that gender assignment, plus you would be able to access all of the emotions, thought patterns, and subconscious imagery that a female has as well, which is true for the reverse of burdock females. Um, but yeah, that's just a little bit of discussion for today. If you want to read more in depth about this, then you can read this article, Schizophrenia, Bipolar Conscious, and Other Shamanic Traits by Daniel Jacob, and you can find that at www.freeconnection.net/schizo_shamanic.htm, which goes a lot more in depth about what I was talking about and probably does it better than I do. But yeah, that was it for today. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you have any other suggestions for future videos, then leave them in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe because I'm crazy. Bye guys.